Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Um, we will be covering API Inspection Toolbox, the advanced API inspection software. My name is Kesley Price, and I am the Product Marketing Manager here at Technical Toolboxes, and I will be helping facilitate this webinar today. We will get started here very shortly with introductions, but first a couple logistical details I need to cover on every webinar. If you have any questions on what we're covering, there is a chat box or question tab on the top right of your screen in your webinar interface with GoToWebinar. Please send us any questions you may have throughout the webinar, and we will do our best to cover all of those at the end of the presentation. So submit those throughout, and we will cover those there at the end. So we will be sending a copy of this webinar recording to everyone that registered and attended today. So don't worry, you will get a copy of this to rewatch or share. So that's great. I know we get asked that a lot. And before I turn it over to Jeff to kick us off, just a quick look at the agenda. First, Jeff will formally introduce himself in API Toolbox. Jeff, if you wouldn't mind going to the next screen to the agenda. So we'll formally introduce him in the API Toolbox at the beginning, and then he will briefly showcase each module, API 510, 653, and 570. Then Jeff will discuss the Asset Management Database, and after he wraps, we'll turn the reins over to John Walling, who is the Quality Program Manager at West Tech Inspection and a power user of the API Collector app that we're going to be showcasing today. So he'll show us all of how he uses the app on a daily basis and the best practices using the API Collector app. Then we'll very quickly ask a poll question and move on to the live Q&A. So that'll allow us to address all your submitted questions and get you live answers from our experts that we have on the phone with us. So Jeff Walling will be starting here shortly, and then followed by John Walling. And then we have Pinkash Diamond, who is our subject matter expert on API that will join us at the end for the questions. So let's get going. Jeff, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session of the API Inspectors Toolbox webinar. My name is Jeff Walling. I am the author of the API Toolbox. I developed this in Microsoft Access probably around 2001, and then caught up with TTI, and we were able to bring this software into the cloud. And we have been developing it ever since. It's a really good, handy tool. So we're going to go over some of the main modules today. The engineering data, the 510 module, the 653 module, 570, and then the asset management database. Okay, so looking at the, all right, let's see here. Why isn't this going down? All right, so the engineering database. In the engineering database or data, you'll find the material library, you'll find pressure vessel calcs, above ground storage calcs, and pipe calcs. These are all independent calcs with all the individual components that you can do calculations with. The material library will have a list of almost all of the material in ASME Section 2 Part D and B313A and the storage tank materials. Okay. Material specifications, yeah, so we just, you'll have the material specs, tensile stress, yield stress, stress values, chemical composition, heat ranges, weld rod sections. You'll have your quick reference to modulus of elasticity, thermal coefficients, minimum design metal temperatures, post-weld heat treatment, external pressure charts, the external calculations for pressure vessels is pretty much automated at this point, so you don't really have to use the charts, but they're going to be there for you to check anything you might have a question about. Pipe standards, we got class ratings, 150 to 500 pound class, well neck flanges, all the specs for well neck flanges, long well necks, etc. We got your pipe sizes and schedules for carbon steel, stainless steel, aluminum, and of course your stress tables for B31.3, gasket data, bolting, insulation, and so forth. Under the pressure calcs, here is a list of the calculations we have in there. You have every component in there that you would possibly need to do an evaluation on a pressure vessel. You could even re-rate this vessel based on these use of these calculations here. We have horizontal tanks in there, tower wind loads, exchangers, every variation of cylindrical shells, nozzles, heads, formed, flat, conical. Um, the next thing would be your above ground storage tank calcs. Again, here are a lot of your calcs, everything that you would need to evaluate these above ground storage tanks, no matter what condition, Appendix V, Appendix M, Appendix F, venting evaluations, floor bulges, shell settlement, and the seal inspections and the like. Then you have your pipe calcs, and again, you have just about everything you need to be able to do the evaluations on the piping. All right, so now let's go to the actual program and start doing the overview of these. So here is where you would go once you have come into the program. You have your modules 510, 570, 653, your asset management, engineering data. We're going to just go straight. Our time is limited. We're just going to go to API 510 right now, kind of do an overview of that. So the first thing that comes up is this base page for the API 510. They have these tabulated windows, so you can get some quick code bites. You know, if you have a question about pressure vessel design, intervals, MI degradation, inspection, evaluations, and in here you'll find a reference to the code, for instance, corrosion and minimum thickness evaluation. And here's some snippets, code bites out of the code here so that you can have a quick reference without actually having to go to the code. But if you do want more clarity, more information, we have a reference there, so that saves time. Okay, and then this is the heart of the program here, the report modules. All right, and what you click on the report module, and it will bring you to this report base page. And here's where you would start your report, and you have several ways to start it. You can either start brand new by clicking this plus button. You can download a template, fill that template in, and import it. It's an Excel template. Or you can copy. So once you get your first one in, and let's say there's like 10 pressure vessels that you did at the same site, a lot of this information is going to be redundant, so you don't have to keep putting it in. You just hit the copy and then update whatever is relevant to that piece of equipment. All right, and it's like I said, this is your static data, your basic. You should have a list of inspectors here and their certifications, so you don't have to always look that up. And the city and the employer's name, the vessel, location, year built, national board, inside diameter, maximum allowable working pressure, external working pressure, all this, okay? Your heads and your components and their nominal thicknesses. If it is a two-chamber vessel, you have also this second chamber here. Say it is a heat exchanger, you can designate this as the tube side or shell side, and this one the other tube side or shell side. So you can evaluate the two sides independently, okay? From there, a lot of your information will cascade forward, say maximum allowable working pressures, design temperatures, your lengths and all that. And then down here is your executive, well, actually your cover text. If you do a brand new one and you fill out this data and hit save, it will update all of your relevant information down here. And this is editable, so you can edit it to whatever you say, whatever you want it to say. Doesn't have to be what is defaulted. Then you got your report appendix. This is where you will begin to build your report. Here is where you would either through the program or through an Excel spreadsheet, which is what I use. It's much quicker, and it's easier to just fill out an Excel spreadsheet and then import it here. Okay, and then it comes in here, and you have this table up here, which is going to forward, going to look at all your components. So your components are limited to shell 1, shell 2, head 1, 2, and 3. And whatever you designate it will look at all of your UT readings and pick the lowest one as your actual reading, and that will be forwarded to be the most critical evaluation for your remaining life and corrosion rates. Okay, always remember to hit your save buttons. Okay, and then so this is where you would put in build your UT tables and bring them in. If you use a data logger, you can set it up so that you can just copy and paste them into the Excel spreadsheet, and 1, 2, 3, you have it. And then here's your default calcs will come in with your cylindrical shells, your formed heads, which is your hemispherical, torus, spherical, ellipsoidal heads, but you can also change it to whatever other type of head, flat head, conical. You have a component life, which will take each CML and do a remaining life calc, and then your nozzle calcs. But you have also all those calculations that we just previously saw. They are also listed here, and you can pick those and bring them into the report and do any further evaluation that you need. All right. Again, things get cascaded forward, and you can do your calcs. Here's where you would upload all your other documents, such as drawings. Here, this has a checklist. You come in here and you would fill out the checklist. Okay. And when you copy, the checklist copies over with it. Okay, if you copy reports, so that saves you a lot of time there. A lot of that's the same. Photos, you can either upload the photos within the program, or if you have your own Word style of doing it, other style way of doing it, you can upload that as long as it's in PDF. And then all of your NDE records, your API search, and all that. All right, so that's a kind of a real quick rundown on 510. And the write-up, of course, you come in here and you have your results, your findings over here, and then your recommendations over here, and then you have an executive summary here. Okay, so it's all pretty much user-friendly, easy to get used to, not a great learning curve at all. And we get a lot of feedback on that about how user-friendly it is. So, and then your 653 report builder and your 570 report builder is basically the same format. So you would come into let's just take a quick look at 653. Again, you have your tabulated windows for quick references to the code. You have your report builder. There's a lot more to this. We're just going over the main meat of most of people's interest in this program. So you come in here and you fill out your base page with your static data. There's other things you could add to this. For instance, we have serial numbers, PSM critical maintenance plan, that other stuff, design pressures and stuff like that. That's not in the data sets up here. Again, you'll see this is exactly like the 510. You have your thickness measurements, you have your calculations, and this will come in. This will default to your shell, your roof, your floor, your nozzle, and your cell settlement, which is typical of an out-of-service inspection or even an in-service inspection, with the exception of the floor. But you can take anything out or put anything in that you want to. You can always advise keep it sequential, keep it full. So I just shifted this nozzle up, and then I'm going to shift the shell settlement up, and then I'm going to take this away, so that that's all that you're relative to this in-service inspection, maybe that kind of thing. Same here, your drawings, your checklist, and the checklist will have a in-service, out-of-service, and STI checklist, photographs, manufacturer data sheets, MSDS is whatever you need to upload there, and your NDE records and certifications. So it's very much the same, and the write-up is going to be exactly the same as the 510, and the 570 is going to have the same formatting. Okay. Let's just take a real quick look at the 570. So we come in here, same thing, your tabulated windows, other references down here that support the inspection program. You have your base page, your report base page, your cover text here. You also have LTST analysis. This is new to the program, so that if you do want to do that analysis, you have everything targeted and for your UTs. You're getting the UTs from the exact same bullseye. You can use this for LTST analysis. Okay. Again, you have your appendices and all your all your CML records here. This will default to remaining life calcs, your pressure calcs, and pipe supports. But this is pipe structural support, not the actual pipe supports. I'll have to have that renamed. But so that the code alludes to that. Check the pressure, check the structural ability of the vessels, check. Make sure you have enough corrosion allowance inside here. So I don't have anything in here, so this is empty. I thought that maybe I'd have something here, but you can do the structural analysis too. Let's see if that comes in here. So, and basically what that is doing is it's looking at the support of the pipe from one support to the next support, and it's looking at the weight of the pipe, the weight of the product inside the pipe, the weight of the insulation, and making sure that it can support itself. Okay, because if it's starting to corrode and it's in an acid type of corrosive environment, it's going to start thinning out. At what point will it collapse? So you can do that. Again, nobody really does that a lot, but in this program you have the ability to do it, and it is alluded to in the code that you need to be confident in the structural support of the line. You got your drawings, you got your checklist, you got your photos. The checklist follows API 570 checklist, your photos, other data, and your NDEs and certifications. So that's the three main reporting modules. Now we're going to look at the asset management database. So once you get done with all this, you can start building your database and start tracking your inspections. Here you go to asset management database. You go to you have to put, to start it off, you got to input your company, the location, and then you would go into any one of these. Usually we start with a process vessel, and we'll start to designate units. Okay, so in this case our unit is location is Richmond, and the unit here takes a minute to come up. This one is an active program. There we go, and this is what we call tier 1. So once you can either have everything you want in one designated unit, or you can divide it up in unit 1, 2, 3, however you name it, however they're called. And then on this tier 1 level, you have all this information. Let me find one that's maybe a little fuller here. How about this one here? So we go in here, and you have the ID, description, type, state, number. In this case, it's exception. It's not registered with the state. National board number, your next inspection for internal, external UT, next state inspection if you're tracking that. A lot of insurance companies do that for you, so you don't really need to track it, but there's a lot of companies that opt to do it themselves. Yeah, RBI ranking if you have RBI evaluations on it, or if you just want to keep an eye on it. This one's standing out because we got issues. P&ID, you just want to know what the P&ID is for that equipment. Boom. So you only need to go to tier 1, find your piece of equipment, which is alphanumeric, and you go from there. anything showed up in red is saying that, hey, this is past due inspection, okay? And this is an internal that's past due and all that. So let's go into here and go to tier 2. So once you get the once you start building this, you will enter you'll hit the plus button over here. It'll come up to this window here, and you just start filling in the static data. And now, if you've done a report and you're going to build this as you're doing the inspections, there is a button saying, to send to the asset management database, and it will bring forward all your basic information that can be found in the report. That saves a ton of work. This is very convenient because this is a one-stop shop. It'll have everything you need for that piece of equipment. To start with, you have your vessel docs. So in here, you could put your inspection drawings, design drawings, and this will take any kind of a file. It'll take an AutoCAD file, a Word file, a PDF file, an image file. Like here's an image file. And so you can have an idea of what that looks like. Your info docs, your design drawings, anything that you want in here, and it's unlimited how much you can store here. All your design drawings, your U1 data sheets, all that can be stored here. And then, whoops, I just clicked the wrong one. All right, let's get back in there. All right, and then down here, as you do inspections, you store the inspections here. So you always have a record of your inspections. You don't have to go to a hard copy file. It's all right here, okay? You have your inspection intervals are here. You just put in your last internal, external UT, national board, and a lot of times internals where you want to do a bundle. So if the bundle is to be inspected on that internal, you just click here and it will come out in your query. All right, you put your frequencies and it'll give you your next inspection. Okay. PSVs, this will tie to the PSVs, and you can have as many PSVs as you want. This is for the main vessel. This is for the jacket. And it's tied to that PSV. You go to that PSV and all the data that you want to restore here, including your travelers, your specs, all that can be right here. Okay, your next inspections, your notes, that might special notes or whatever. Okay, very convenient. That is a really good aspect that you don't have in any other programs out there, to be able to link that with a click of a button. Action items. So here's where if you have you did an inspection and you want to have some repairs that need to happen or something needs attention, there you go. You just put it in here, and then when it is satisfied, you'll close it out here and give it a date. And you can do this one of two ways: either go into the piece of equipment, or you can query here for your action items. And let's say you have an action item here that you took care of. So you looked at that, you found these, you said, okay, this is satisfied. Let me go here and sign it off. You just click on the item and you click here, give it a date, save it, and close it out. Okay. It makes it very convenient. Everything is just snap, snap, snap. It's just all inclusive, and it's very convenient, very user-friendly. PSVs, these are listed by the PSVs. Let's say you have a PSV you want to check on. There you can click on that and it'll bring you to it, and there's all the data. There's everything you need to know. Okay, so you can either get to it through here or through the piece of equipment itself. Okay, and then you have your tankage and your piping. You have pumps, MOVs, critical valves you can track. Let's go on in here and see that here's your tier 1 level. Okay, and so it's all here alphanumerically listed. There's all your P&IDs for that. There's all your due dates for that, and your description of each piece of each line, each circuit. Now, if you want to query, let's say you want to query for the next month of anything coming up for inspections, you come in here and you can either do it through external, internal, UT, and national board. And this will only do whatever unit you have there unless you click this button. You click this button and it will it will do we only have one unit here, but if you had 5 different units, it will include all 5 units. Okay. So you just put in what's going on for the next month, you hit go, and there is your list of, well, nothing's due. Let's see if we can put this out a little bit here. There's something due in the next year. Okay. Then you have your choice of Word or PDF. We are also going to add Excel, Microsoft Excel as well, which we actually already have here. If you want a list of all this in Microsoft Excel, right there it is. Okay, you can export it into Excel and manipulate it any which way you want. Okay, same thing here, UT, National Board, internal inspections, all that. Okay. I think that pretty much covers it. So there is a real quick look for the engineers out there. In the engineering data, we have AST calcs. We showed you that earlier. Pressure vessel calcs, piping calcs. Material library, we've got engineering calcs, which is just basic calcs, volumes and that kind of stuff. Material specs. Let's look at some piping specs, process specs. So here's material specs, and here you get a lot of information. As a matter of fact, if and this thing is set down, CS for carbon steel, SS for stainless steel, and then there's just about everything, bolting materials. Matter of fact, let me take that out and kind of show you the list here. So here's your chromes: 1 chrome, 2 2¼ chrome, 5 chrome, 9 chrome. Here's your bolting materials. Here is your carbon steel materials, most common, not all, but most common that you're going to find in our industry. Stainless steel materials, even unknown materials, in case you don't know what it is. The API 510 gives you a default for stress values and such. Here is the stainless steel. Here is your exotic steels, 8 nickel, alloy 59, alloy 122, alloy 20, aluminum, a Manel, Inconel, you name it, nickel, titanium. So you got any of that? Let's see, carbon steel. And here's like a piping carbon steel pipe. This is your most common one these days. Here is your UNS number. Here's your tensile strength, yield strength, your stress values before 1998 and after 1998. There was a change in the stress values. You can look them up here, and you'll see as you go down and the temperatures are increased, the stress values decrease. And so all this depends on your evaluation in your pressure vessel reports, depends on the year it was built and the temperature it operates at, and the program automatically finds that and inputs it. And here's a chemical composition. Let's say you want a PMI, a piece of equipment, and you want to know what you're looking for. Well, there it is. Okay. For most common stuff, it's not for everything, but the most common stuff. Here's some precautionary environments for this particular carbon steel. Here's preheat, creep temperature, annealing, normalizing range, forging range, stress ranges, carburation or transformation range. Here's your Brunel hardness. Here's your Rockwell, here your NOP. This is great information if you're involved in analysis of a fire. If you guys have a fire and you set up your heat zones, this will help you designate your heat zones and what your Brunel hardness test would be. Your velocities, if you're going to do UT inspections on them and all that, post-well heat treatment guidelines and all that. So here's also material for 650, 653, and B313. So, all right, so I think that pretty much wraps up the overview here for today. Kelsey, it's back to you.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. So shifting from the API Toolbox to the API Collector app, which is our in-field data collection app that we offer now. John Walling will be showing the beta version of the app and the desktop version today. So typically in the field, he would use his phone or tablet for the inspection, but for this webinar today, he's going to be showing the desktop version of the app. So John, let's get started. Show us how you use the app for your inspections.
Hey folks, I'm John Walling. I've been helping with this API collector. I think it's a very useful tool. So you have the program, which Jeff just went over all of the aspects of how to use a program. This is the other side. So what is a way you can make it quicker in the field and more quickly enter everything into the program? That's the API Collectors app. So this is just the home screen of the app. It's got some basic general information real quick, and you can add your employer and logo here. It'll give you a basic status of what the status of your reports at present. And let's get into it. So for a new report, you come in here, figure out which kind of report you want to do. You click on it and it brings up this page. Now, what I typically do in the field will really depend on how much information I have in advance. If I know that I have a lot of this information, to make it as efficient as possible, I will start to enter the information here, and leave what I can blank if I don't need to. Now, what this really does help speed up here and help you not miss anything is if you're going into a job and you have no information and you need it, this is where you collect it. You put it right into this app, whatever the customer is, and it is right there when you get to the other side. So rather than fill this out, we're going to go over here to a report list, to a report, and sort of show you. So this is a general view of what I do. So the cover image, I'll go ahead and take a picture of it. When you upload it, that image goes directly onto the front page of your report, which looks great, and it goes right in from I generally use my phone. I also use a tablet, so I just take it right with my phone, and it literally goes right into the report. Fill out the information as I need to. Again, the detail that I put here is going to depend on how much information I have. If I don't have any information, this is all getting filled out. And you can just, you just click in the fields and, you fill it out on your, on your screen. Nominal information, all the same stuff that goes directly into the program. And that's it. That's the base page. It's as simple as that. And you have basically everything you need. Now we have some of our standard text, same as the program. This information is the same stuff that starts your reports in the program. What I do when I need to add stuff, like I just go ahead and type it in. We can clean it up later. This is just for the sake of getting the information we need on the page, getting the recommendation. You don't even really need to fill out the recommendation because you're going to probably do that in more depth later, but I like to put it. Then you take a picture of the issue. You hit add photo, take a picture of it right then. And right then and there, it'll automatically add a file name, but you can add any description you want. And me personally, I like to get rid of the file name that comes in automatically and just leave my description. But when you upload it into the program, it has both of those information if that's what you want. And that's generally how I use this section. I'll just fill out, very quickly, like that, and then take a photo of it, put a description if I want, and then move on. So being able to add the photos and they go into the report in this order, the same order as your section. So, each section is its own foundation, shell, heads. Take the photos when you're in that section, and it comes out right into the report there. Nozzles, and so on and so forth. So I think that part is really great for and then again, it has all the basic information that you can edit, add to it, whatever you need to do. And then we come over here to the CML section. You can fill out all of these fields, and you will eventually do that. But when you're in the field, you're trying to record information, you can just get the description in and then type. If you're scribing for a tech, or if you're there taking the UTs, you just type the UTs right in here, and then there's no, from here it goes directly into the program under the CML section. So there's no uploading that you'll have to do if you fill it out right here. You just put it here, when you upload it from here, it'll fill out the software. So that's really fast to set up, and it's really fast to enter. You're talking about 3 numbers, and then you click, and then numbers, and then you click. The checklist I think is brilliant. A lot of times I'm an inspector. I've been doing inspections for a long time, and I think a checklist is very useful. But printing out, if you're going to go inspect 10 vessels, then you're printing out 40 pieces of paper. This right here, I mean, you fill it out right here, check, 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 all the way down. Number one, you're not going to forget anything. If you're going to not fill out a checklist, you can just fill it out. It's right here. So you fill out the checklist, and then it's done. It goes right into the report. Exactly what you check goes right into the report. And you can add stuff on the back end when you're using the software. So you don't have to get incredibly detailed here. You don't have to fill out all like the section here. If you have it and you can do it from the office, fine. But you can check it off here. You checked it. You did it. It's done. So that is the 510. And then one of my favorite aspects of this is I'm going to go do another vessel. It's going to be exactly the same. It is as simple as this to do another one. Change the number, save. I have a whole new file now. That is a whole new file, and I can just go hit add a photo. It'll remove the photo and add a new photo. And now I'm in a whole new, so just like the program where you can copy to kind of give yourself a leg up on the data that you're going to enter, it is so simple and fast to do that here. If you have 10 vessels in a row, I've just made another vessel. It's right here, that new one. It's as simple as that. So that's the basic way that the modules work. It's nice, it's simple, it's fast. Some of the other things that I really like is in the write-up section. I can't do it on the call because it'll interfere with the call. You have the ability to enable talk to text. So if you've got dirty fingers or whatever, you can click in here. You can hit your speaker button and say dirty shell, and then it'll put it right in there for you. Whatever finding you need to put. It auto saves every 5 minutes, so you won't lose anything if you forget to save or whatever, and it's going to save for you. And then another. Oh, hold on a second, folks.
Hey Jeff, I'm sorry, John, while you're getting that app back up, I do have a question for Henry and Paincash that are our SMEs on the line related to the app. Why would you say this is better than the already existing software for recording inspection data? And he specifically referred to IDMS or AIM. So, Paincash or Henry, are you able to answer that?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes. Can you repeat that question again, please?
Yeah, of course. So, why or how is this software better than the already existing software for recording inspection data? And he specifically compared it to IDMS or AIM.
I can try to answer it, but if Jeff, you know, you want to pitch in, so just you can. But let me try to answer this question. So this is you can say the software that we designed is the shorter version of the bigger platforms that exist in the market, and it does allow you to quickly, gather the data and run through those calculations without actually, doing a lot of bells and whistles around it. So all you need is just your thickness measurement readings, details about your equipment, and then boom, all you have to do is just feed in that data quickly, and then you would be able to see those calculations and run through those calculations. You can handpick the calculations whichever you want to apply on that one, and you would be able to generate the report. That's how it is, quick and easier to use as compared to any other software. But if Jeff, you want to add something to this, or Henry, feel free, but that's my kind of 2 cents on that.
Yeah, this is Jeff. I'm not familiar with those other apps, those software apps, so I really can't answer to that other than the fact that this works hand in hand with the program and it makes it seamless, really.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. And while we're this is probably a good question for John while you're on this screen, actually. So a question we got is when you're saving a new vessel in the app, um, same as the previous, will it remove the previously checked boxes? So I guess what he's asking is if you have a report and you have checked boxes on the checklist or somewhere else on the report, and then you duplicate that like you showed, does it save those previous checked boxes too?
It does. So when you go over here, so this is actually the one I just copied. So you can actually see, yes, all of the checks are still there, but it's both a good thing and a bad thing, right? So the question could go either way. Do the checks stay there, meaning like you're going to miss something? And if you're like, well, this is a new vessel, that's what this button right here is for. You hit here, you clear if you're like, I actually don't want this data to still be here, you can clear all of the fields and then start over again. And all it will have copied is like the basic information. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank
so
you, John.
I hope that answers that question. The one other thing I was going to show is the on the report. Let's see. There's a really cool feature. Let's say you have to take like a floor plate or shell plate or whatever, and you need to take a whole lot of readings on a whole lot of plates. And if you set it up like this with a word and then a letter and a number, the program can actually the program can actually fill in the blanks for you. You see, I just hit in one button, I just added 11 more plates, and I can just keep on filling out these fields if you're recording this information in the field. And then so the checklist, with tanks, with tanks in particular, there's a lot of checklist. The pages and pages of checklist. It's all here. You just come in here, you just check the box when you look at it. If you look at it, if you don't look at it, it's really straightforward and simple. Here's the out of service version. It's pretty long. You can see, I can go on and on. It's all this checklist is right here at your disposal. You don't have to carry 20 pages with you on the field. You're inspecting multiple tanks. And then, if you do STI inspections, here's our basic STI checklist, you know what I mean? And it's really simple to fill out, easy to fill out, and most things are going to be yes or no. You'll type whatever you need to type for that field and move on. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the app. And then all of this information that you collect in the field with this app, which you can put on a tablet, I use it on my phone. And, my phone is not that big, but I can make it work, and I really love the ability to sort of upload, especially like the photos and the descriptions and immediately directly into the program. So, but that's pretty much it. I mean, unless, there's.
No, that's
Yeah.
perfect, John. Thank you so much for showing this. This is really good content here. So we are going to move on. We have one poll question to ask everyone on here, and then we're going to go straight to the Q&A because we do have some really great questions coming in, and we want to cover as much of those as possible. So we will present the poll question for about 1 minute. And basically, we're asking here, are you interested in a free trial of the API Collector app, which is what John just showed us, and the API Toolbox, which is what Jeff demoed? We will be offering a free trial of both of these to anyone in attendance. So if that's something you're interested in, please select yes, and we will follow up with you after this webinar to get you on there and playing around in it. We'd love your feedback. Obviously, we want to get you using our tools at your next inspection, but we also really value your feedback. So please keep us informed on what you do and don't love about our inspection tools, the toolbox, and the app. If you move forward with the trial after this webinar, we also would love to stay in contact about feedback. We're always looking to improve our products and get those enhanced to make it as useful as possible for you in the field and once you get back to the office to create those reports. So please answer that poll question accordingly. And then it does look like I said we've got some Q&A to cover here. So I'll kind of sort through these. It looks like we have some good ones about the app as well as asset management database, and then some regarding the API toolbox specifically. So let's start with, okay, so I think this is a question for PK or Henry to answer. What do we provide at Technical Toolboxes the after the sale, like as far as customer service? I guess what resources are available to them after the sale, and how does our customer service work with users of the API Toolbox and the API Collector app?
All right, thanks. I can answer this question. So we do provide all our customers, once you are uh, a user of our software, so we have a support channel where you can generate a ticket. That ticket gets addressed within 24 hours. We try to address it, try to contact our users and try to help them. In addition to our ticketing system, we do provide all the consultations. If you are there is basically a training kind of, wherein if you are facing any problems in the usage of the software, you wanted to know how to use it, we can conduct short demos and walk you through, just to make sure that you are comfortable enough to use that application. So, and you are free to reach us through either through ticketing system or through emails, and we do support all of our users. And we, just by buying that product, you are would not be left alone. So that's how we have been managing all our end users till now. So our support system is really robust, so don't worry about that. Thank you. Kesley?
Thank you. Going back to the app, John, I don't know if you mind sharing your screen for a second as some of these questions regarding the app come up. How many images can I take or upload? I don't know if PK wants to take that one, or John, if you feel comfortable answering that one.
Yeah, I am not aware of a limit, so that might be
A PK
a
question.
Yeah, so like I have seen myself up to 150 to 100 images. So as such, probably there is no limit on the on the app or on the program. But I mean, sufficient, like I would say even 200 photos is quite a big number, so you would be able to upload those easily, so without any problems. And then in the application itself, if you don't want to just upload these pictures one by one, you can just club all them together in a PDF file. Just upload that PDF file to make it easier on your end, and that is also entertained in the program.
Great, and I think this is also related to the app. It just says STI checklist question mark. So is that available?
Yeah, I showed that. So if you go to the report, let me see here. These should have it. Oh, hold on a second. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm getting ready to it's frozen a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, this desktop version is still in the beta testing. Our tablet app and on your phone works very well, but for some reason this desktop version struggles a little bit with a lag, so no problem there.
Yeah, but I mean, STI. Do you think the question is in reference to what is an STI checklist, or?
No, I think it's asking if it's available in the app. I would assume.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have the all three essentially tank related checklists So the in-service, API 653 in-service, API 653 out-of-service, and then an STI checklist, which sort of includes some extra stuff like it doesn't have an NFPA logo, is it protected from impact, are there bollards and stuff like that. That is in the app.
Perfect. Great. We have some questions related to the asset management database. Jeff, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, I'll ask you some questions about the API Toolbox and the asset management database. So the first one being, what if we don't see a material in the list that we want from the material library?
Okay, and that does happen. It's very rare, but you'll just have to go to that particular code, to the ASME section 2 part D, and look that up. And the fields are open fields, so you can put the material in there, the stress value per temperature per year built, and all that. You just have to go look it up. There is a means to add to that if you request a certain spreadsheet and fill out the information needed for it. We can add that to it as well.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That's what I wanted to say, that the application has the capability. Plus, also, if you have that information, you can just send it to us, and then we will be able to add it like within a couple of minutes only. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so what about the reports we create in the toolbox? Do they stay here, or do we have to request to access them?
So as long as your account is active, those reports would be visible in your account all the time. So all you have to do is just generate those reports. So whatever you're going to create in your account is going to stay there. So you're not going to lose any of your data. So once it is created, you want to come back and see after, let's say, 2 years, 3 years, all you have to do is just look for that report through the drop down, and you would be able to access it.
Great, thank you, PK. And so another question, this one's relating to licensing, so this will be for Paincash as well. Does the program work on a single license per company, or can I share it across my team, or do we need separate licenses? How does that work?
So yes, all active users, they need to maintain their own license. For let's say if you are a group of 5 people in a company, you would need 5 licenses for different users. However, if you are just using one license on the company side, then just one license. Basically, it's how many users you have, those many licenses would be needed for the application.
Very
And
nice.
this helps to protect the data itself, because otherwise the chance of getting the data corrupted by different users and that things comes in. So as long as you are active user, just work in your account independently, and the data integrity maintains that way. So thank you.
Great, and a couple more here, or maybe just one here. We've got, can you customize the report once it's exported from the tool?
So the report is printed in a fixed format, but you have the capability, like for example, the program does give you options to generate the report in either Word file or in a PDF format. So Word is easily, everyone has the Word applications on their system, so they would be able to modify this and change it. PDF editor is required if you want to modify the PDF file. So if you have a PDF editor, you would be able to modify that one as well. But words are like kind of free access, so you would be able to modify once it is generated, do whatever you want to, make any changes that you would like to.
Thank you, Paincash. So here's one that I can answer. Do you guys also provide inspection training in the field for new certified inspectors? Unfortunately, we do not. We are a software and training company. So we offer, as far as training, we offer courses that you can take to earn some certs, but these are not in-field training courses by any means. They're more learning about the codes and regulations available to API inspectors and related to API, but not in the field. So I can answer that one for you. And then one more for you, PK, and then I think this is the last one we're going to be able to cover. Is the software compatible with SAP?
So as of now, it is not, but we are thinking to make it integrating it with the SAP, but as of now, it is not.
Awesome, and that's great feedback. We love to hear some of your in-house software that you're using and that you'd like to be compatible and integrated with. That helps us decide our enhancements for the next quarter. So any of that information that you're willing to share, we are happy to look at that. But I think we are going to wrap here. Thank you all for submitting your questions. And for those that we didn't get to answer live, we'll follow up via email with you. Like I said at the beginning, you will all receive a recording of this webinar via email, and it will be made available on our YouTube channel by the end of the week. So thank you to Jeff and John Walling for the presentation, and to everyone in attendance. Thank you to Pankaj for answering all these technical questions here at the end. If you have additional questions or have interest in setting up a one-on-one demo for your team or for yourself with Jeff or one of our SMEs, please reach out to us, and we are happy to help you here at Technical Toolboxes with anything API related. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.